Good morning, second graders. I have another favorite story to share with you this morning, and this one is called Amazing Grace. And when you come see me in the classroom, you will find that this is in my classroom library as well. So this is my own personal book, but it is also in my classroom library, as well as the book that comes after this called Boundless Grace. But this story is called Amazing Grace, so I hope you enjoy this. This is by Mary Hoffman. Grace was a girl who loved stories. She didn't mind if they were read to her, or told to her, or made up in her own head. She didn't care if they were in books, or movies, or out of Nana's long memory. Grace just loved stories. After she had heard them, and sometimes while they were still going on, Grace would act them out, and she always gave herself the most exciting part. Grace went into battle as Joan of Arc and wove a wicked web as Anansi the spider. She hid inside the wooden horse at the gates of Troy. She went exploring for lost kingdoms. She sailed the 7 seas with a peg leg and a parrot. She was Hiawatha sitting by the shining big sea water, and Mowgli in the backyard jungle. Most of all, Grace loved to act out adventure stories and fairy tales. When there was no one else around, Grace played all the parts herself. She set out to seek her fortune with no companion but her trusty cat, and found a city with streets paved in gold. Or she was Aladdin, rubbing his magic lamp to make the genie appear. Sometimes she could get Ma and Nana to join in when they weren't too busy. Then she was Dr. Grace, and their lives were in her hands. One day, Grace's teacher said they would do the play Peter Pan. Grace knew who she wanted to be. When she raised her hand, Raj said, "You can't be Peter. That's a boy's name." But Grace kept her hand up. "You can't be Peter Pan," whispered Natalie. "He isn't black." But Grace kept her hand up. "All right," said the teacher. "Lots of you want to be Peter Pan, so we'll have auditions next week to choose parts." She gave them words to learn. When Grace got home, she seemed sad. "What's the matter?" asked Ma. "Raj said I can't be Peter Pan because I'm a girl." "That just shows what Raj knows," said Ma. "A girl can be Peter Pan if she wants to." Grace cheered up. Then later, she remembered something else. "Natalie says I can't be Peter Pan because I'm black," she said. Ma looked angry. But before she could speak, Nana said, "It seems that Natalie is another one who don't know nothing. You can be anything you want, Grace, if you put your mind to it." On Saturday, Nana told Grace they were going out. In the afternoon, they caught a bus and train into town. Nana took Grace to a grand theater. The sign outside read Rosalie Wilkins in Romeo and Juliet in sparkling lights. Are we going to the ballet, Nana? Asked Grace. We are, honey. But first, I want you to look at this picture. Grace looked up and saw a beautiful young ballerina in a tutu. Above the dancer, it said, "Stunning new Juliet." That one is little Rosalie from back home in Trinidad, said Nana. Her granny and me, we grew up together on the island. She's always asking me, do I want tickets to see her Rosalie dance? So this time, I said yes. After the ballet, Grace played the part of Juliet, dancing around her room in her imaginary tutu. I can be anything I want, she thought. On Monday, the class met for auditions to choose who was best for each part. When it was Grace's turn to be Peter, she knew exactly what to do and all the words to say. She had been Peter Pan all weekend. She took a deep breath and imagined herself flying. When it was time to vote, the class chose Raj to be Captain Hook and Natalie to be Wendy. There was no doubt who would be Peter Pan. Everyone voted for Grace. You were fantastic, whispered Natalie. The play was a big success, and Grace was an amazing Peter Pan. After it was all over, she said, I feel as if I could fly all the way home. You probably could, said Ma. Yes, said Nana. If Grace put her mind to it, she can do anything she wants. That is one of my favorites. Grace has a great attitude all the way. And no matter what, even when somebody sort of starts to bring her down, there are people around her that lift her up. Grace loves stories, she loves acting, she has a big imagination, she loves drama, right? But then she's told that she can't do something for a lot of reasons, right? She's told that she can't do something because she's a girl. She's told she can't do something because of the color of her skin. And we know that's not true. We know that's wrong to say something like that because that's not true ever, right? And when she's being told by her mom that you're a girl, you can still do that, and her Nana's saying your classmates don't know the difference between that, right? That they're wrong, right? And they need to learn, right? That of course you can do this because you're a girl, and of course you can do this because you're black. The color of your skin, it does not matter, right? And if you set your mind to it, right, you can do anything you want. Her Nana, she doesn't miss a beat, right? She steps right in, right? She knows exactly what to say to bring Grace back and help her with her dream, right? Grace is like, I am going to be Peter Pan, and I am going to be able to do this no matter what. Nobody's going to tell me any differently, right? No matter what, okay? And she has that kind of growth mindset, yeah. She's going to be able to do it. She put her mind to it, okay? And just because she was told you can't do it, she had all these people around her lifting her up, right? So she shouldn't listen to people that are bringing her down, but those who are trying to lift her up, right? And that's what we should be doing to those around us, right? Always using those kind words, thinking about how our words and actions affect others. Are we saying things to bring others down, right? Or are we saying things to lift them up? Are we telling them, you can't do that? Or are we telling them, of course you can do that. You'll be great at that. There's no reason you can't do that, right? We want to lift people up, okay? And Amazing Grace is a great story for that. And maybe you'll hear Boundless Grace sometime this year, because in Boundless Grace, she takes a trip. She takes a pretty cool trip. So I hope that you enjoyed that story.